Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing episode 5 of the I'm a Celeb series I'm doing. I will have the other episodes linked up here somewhere for you guys to see the other episodes, but they'll also be linked down below if you want to see them. Also, I'm sorry for my hair and the background and possibly the crappy video quality. I'm having to do this off my iPad. All the makeup I'm wearing will be linked down below also if you want to go and buy it. Let's jump on into this video. So I'm going to start with the campmates and the general atmosphere of camp. So starting with the ladies, Jacqueline had a little bit of a cry on this morning in particular because she was missing her kids and her husband, understandably, and she explained that to people when they asked. And then you also saw a little bit further in the episode that Kate and Jacqueline were talking about their kids and started to bond, and then they included Nadine and Caitlin into their little chat, and they started to talk about the kids and the grandkids and what they missed about them. And Kate got a little bit emotional, and Jacqueline got a little bit emotional, and I think Nadine did a little bit too. And I think they're all starting to miss their families, and I know that it seems a little bit soon, but you've got to remember they are cut off from the world like a week before they go in, so this is their second, nearly third week not seeing their kids and their families, so I think they are starting to feel it. And then a little bit later on you see Adele, Jacqueline, Nadine and Caitlin all doing a little bit of the dance routine from one of the songs that Nadine used to sing with her bandmates, which I thought was really cute, her teaching them, and Caitlin took to it pretty quickly. And then the men in camp, Ian and Andrew, were left alone in camp, and they ended up talking about what happened, and Ian kind of did the right thing. He didn't out and out apologise, but he did explain himself. Andrew took it as an apology and he accepted it, and they've just buried the hatchet and moved on, which I think is good for everyone in camp, but especially them. And then obviously a little bit about Cliff and Andy, who are the new campmates. They didn't go to main camp after completing their trial, which I will talk about in a little bit. They went to the jungle jailhouse, and neither were that thrilled about seeing the fact they had to sleep on the floor and they only had a bucket as a bathroom and beans and rice. They were not thrilled about it, but they seemed to be settling in and coping as best as can be expected. And when it came to sending two campmates to join them in jail, there was a little bit of an argument between Andrew and Jacqueline about the fact that Jacqueline out and out said she didn't want to go, which I don't think is really a problem considering she did spend the first 3 nights in the losers camp. I think anyone from the losers side should have been allowed to say, I don't want to go, I've spent enough time there. And so in the end it was Kate and Andrew who went, and neither were exactly thrilled about going, but they were happy to go and they volunteered. And when they got there they helped explain everything to Cliff and Andy, and they helped settle them in and help them with food. Andrew became the jailhouse chef, which Kate thinks was really good for him because he's been helping Mars in main camp, so he was able to flourish in his own. When the new people were announced, Caitlin didn't have a clue who they were, and there was a little bit of a joke slash jab about all these soap people, and Jacqueline sort of went, hey, and Caitlin went, oh yeah, you're on too. Like she completely forgot that Jacqueline was from soaps, which I thought was kind of funny and amusing. And during the trial, and even before the trial, Cliff and Andy bonded and became really close really quickly. And I think considering they're both latecomers and both sort of from the soap world, I think that helped them going in. They had someone who they could relate to and understand, and they had something to talk about if they had nothing else. So the general atmosphere in camp is that everyone starting to get a little bit tired and tensions are starting to run a little bit high as well. I've noticed emotions in particular are running high. People are easily irritated to tears because they're missing people or they're not comfortable in their situation. There is a little bit of conflict, as I said, with Andrew and Jacqueline, and that seems to sort of be teetering around here and there, but nothing so much that drama is sort of thrown in your face. And also they are starting to notice the smell of themselves. So in the previous years they've had the campfire which has smoke etc, so that it's covered the smell. Problem is they've had issues with obviously forest fires around the world, including in Australia, and so they've gone for a gas fire, and so they can't cover themselves with campfire smoke. Everyone is generally happy though, which is a good thing, and when it came down to it, they were given a chance to keep all of stars for themselves or to share with the jailhouse, and they did share, and that is how Andrew and Kate ended up going to the jailhouse, and the tension between Andrew and Jacqueline occurred, and I do hope they can fix it in future episodes, but we'll see. Now on to the trials, the thing that everyone wants to know about. So the trial was done by Cliff and Andy. It was a cowboy theme, and the trial was called The Frontier of Fear. They both had to do something, and depending on each trial, one went in and then the other stood outside the door and sort of helped the other one. When Cliff was in, Andy had to sort of tell him, move on, like there's not one in there, what's in there, this, that, the other. He wasn't that much help, but you know, you can't see what's in those boxes, so Cliff was doing it blindly anyway, so Andy was very little help other than to tell him to move on and to keep going. And when Cliff went in there, he patted the buffalo on the head. He was unfazed by the two massive buffaloes that were in there with him, and he was happy to get on with it, move around them, be like, hey, yeah, you do your thing, I'll do mine, don't kick me, which was amusing. We hadn't really seen Buffalo in any of the seasons, or this season so far, and so to the fact that he was like, okay, cool, you're in that, I have to admit, kind of on point, and a great way to start his journey into the jungle. As for Andy, he had to go into, I don't even know where, into a room, and it was full with offal, so guts and fish and this, that, the other, and he had to sort of sprawl himself around in it and try and find stars. And Cliff was really good at helping him, telling him where to go, have you checked here and here and here, and actually was probably one of the reasons Andy got all 5 stars that he got. So they had to get 5 stars each. Andy got all 5, Cliff only got 3, and he was super disappointed in himself, but he did really well for the time he got and what he was doing. To be fair, for a first trial, he did pretty well. They got 8 stars in total. I think they did great together. As I said, Andy, when he was in the room full of offal, was so unfazed by the creatures, the smell, what it was, and just got in there. He wanted to feed his fellow campmates, people he hadn't even met yet. He could have just gone to the jailhouse and said, I'm good. But saying that, the main camp could have said, no, I don't want to feed them. I guess in some senses it worked out. So the trial itself seemed to go super quick. I'm sure they edited it down so it seemed super fast, but they did great. And Cliff and Andy are in the top ones for me as like top celebrities up there who would like to be in the final, but we will see what happens. And lastly, we got to hear who would get to do the next trial, which is Snake Hotel, and the public voted for Jacqueline, which I'm kind of sad about. I think she proved herself, and I guess we'll see what happens. She gets to choose a campmate to do it with her, and so we'll see who she picks. What I want to know is, who is your favourite campmate, and who do you think Jacqueline is going to pick to go into the trial with her? I'll see you all next time. Bye.